People deluded. I'm back again. I'm here with Turkish. We're here back again. The Turkish and Deluded show, the Deluded and Turkish show, the DG and Turkish show, the DG and Turkish show, whatever the hell you want to call it, bro. Like we don't really care for names. I'm just happy to have my guy back, man. What you saying?
Trust me, man. It's always good vibes when we're doing videos. You get what I'm saying? And it's different opinions too. That's why I like it, fam. We show people that you can agree to disagree at times too, without no animosity and that.
That's
the online world, sometimes it's all like, if you disagree with someone, you need to throw shade, you need to throw verbal abuse. I'm like, blood, you don't want this in real life. I'll do it online.
It's so mad. It's like we have different opinions all the time, but we're not crying, man. We want to kill each other over that, or it's like you don't know ball. When it's like football is way too complex to just have one sort of answer, bro. Like my man said, make sure you're liking the thing, but apparently dislikes are happening already, and we've just started, so you can't stop the hate, man. But we produce great.
That's probably my bad, G. I can't even lie to you. You already know this, innit? I might as well hold my hands up and say that's probably my bad, man.
They're probably onto you already, fam, but it is what it is, man. But we got a lot to speak about, fam. Let me draw up my things of what I'm here to speak about with you. First and foremost, let's talk about the big man, Gabriel. I've seen your videos. You know a bit about him. It's been officially confirmed now. What's your feelings now that defense seems to be sorted out of sorts?
I'm happy. I probably wouldn't go as far as to say sorted out, just because we don't know Saliba and Gabriel enough yet. But don't ever get it twisted. I'm happy. I feel like something needs to be done, innit? We need fresh faces in there. And to have 3 in the last 6 months with Mari coming in too, it makes a hell of a lot of sense, Deluded fam. You know how many summers we've gone into where we've needed centre-backs. This time we've got 3 in. We've got 3 in. So my thing is that as long as it works, it looks like it makes sense. Gabriel left-footed, Saliba right-footed, 19, 22, number 4, number 6. It looks like it's making sense, yeah? But to say sorted out, I feel like we just need to see, because at the same time, the experienced ones around them who are going to help them bed in, like the Luizes and the
usual suspects.
Yeah, it's a bit, let's hope that that doesn't cause too much of a stir and they can actually get the platform they need and we need as fans.
That's what I feel. I mean, like, I wouldn't go to say it's sorted out. It's just, for me, you know, Arteta, we've still got a long way to go defensively, but there's been some improvement. For me, it's like he needed better players, because there's only so much you can improve these, man. Like you said, we can't really talk about Gabriel and Saliba because at the end of the day, they ain't played yet. But talk to me about centre-halves, bro. What? There's like 8 centre-halves on our books now. We've been down this route. Like, I'm pretty sure you're of the same thinking. Around 4 or 5 centre-halves for a season. That's probably about the number. Who's your centre-halves? Because we've got the 3 already, the new boys. It's the others that throw up the debate.
You see, for my Gabriel video yesterday, I kind of tiered them off. So obviously, tier 1, I've put 4 defenders in, yeah, and that's Saliba, Gabriel, Mari, and Luiz. I expect the 3 or the 2 to be picked from those 4, whatever shape we go into. And if necessary, you have Tierney in that 5-2 if you need to bring him in a little bit and play him as left centre-back. I doubt it. With Mari and Gabriel coming in, 2 left-footed centre-backs, we should be all right there, and we should let Tierney do his thing on the flanks. But now you move down a tier and it's Holding and Chambers for me. We should be selling one of them this summer, if not both, but with Chambers injured, it's a bit difficult. And then you move down a tier again, it's Mustafi and Socrates. So I'm looking at it like Socrates and Holding have to go this summer. Let's recoup some money for them. I'm not even hearing this loan business, because surely we can get some sort of a fee for Holding at the very least. With Socrates, it might have to be a cancelling contracting because of a year to
bite the bullet in it, get the P's off.
But Holding's English. Holding's still, what, 25? Holding somehow still has some sort of a name that people think he's going to turn into a good defender. We might as well capitalize on that now, because he's not going to be playing much this season, so his stock is not going to go up. So
let me ask you this, because you mentioned him. Sorry to cut you off, bro. He's been linked with a move away, and I'm only asking you this because I asked myself it. I'm with you on one hand, you know, I was a fan of him, but let's sell him, let's get our P's, let's do whatever. You know, the 3 centre-halves in Luiz, Socrates, and Mustafi, they might not be here next year. Let's just say he goes on loan to Newcastle because he's been linked with them. He puts himself in the shop window where, you know, we might get 15 this year. He could be a 30, or he proves a lot of people like you and me wrong that he could have a future next season. Do you feel a loan spell that there's no chance of a loan, any benefit to a loan move for you then?
I'd probably say we're going to do that. At least put an option to buy in there for us as well, like for Newcastle. If he does have a good season, they're going to want to buy him, and rather than us dilly-dally around and you know how we are with negotiations sometimes. Famously,
dragged out sagas, but series. And
remember the Gibbs one? Remember we rejected a 15 million bid or something, and then accepted the 10, something like that. 10
we
million.
love that. We love that, bro. We 60 odd for Alexis, let him go for free. We love
So if you put an option in there, I feel like what you said makes sense. I feel like if Holding goes on loan to Newcastle, he does his thing, they stay up, and it's a defensive. It's because of their defense and Holding being part of that. Chambers did similar at Fulham. Obviously, I don't think they stayed up that year, but he did make a little bit of a name for himself again at Fulham. So Holding might need that, but at the same time, Chambers has come back and been the same player he was before Fulham for us. So I feel like put that option to buy in for Newcastle and hope for the best. But ideally, surely there's a team. West Brom will take him for a 15 mil or something.
You should be able to make profit on Holding, bro. Like the thing with Holding, he signed for 2 million. Like whether he's developed or not, that's almost a banker for me. Like you should be able to get some bread for that. Yeah,
that's it. And in this day and age right now, in this market after COVID, 10, 15 mil is something. Yeah, we've apparently been 20 million off Partey all summer, so that would aid that at the very least. And when you bring in Cole for the defense, you help out Gabriel and Saliba even more. So it's about giving them the platform, you know, because they are the young ones of the squad now. So we still got a lot of business to do. Hence my interview after the Community Shield, you know, it was a bit more. I'm always the bigger.
Yeah. You as the Turkish we come to know and expect in that interview, man.
Yeah, but I was doing a couple of Hennies as well. That's the thing. Obviously, the delivery was wrong, but the sentiment was right. Like, I still stand by everything but Ceballos being dead. I don't think Ceballos is dead, but we'll get into that later. But my interview was the bigger picture, deluded. You know me, and you know that I'm not just going to look at one preseason game or 5 wins in the Premier League and think when we do it, then I'll rein it in, and then I'll hold my hands up and say, he proved me wrong, or it works the other way like it has been.
Yeah. You're right on that, and you made a good point, because I feel with Arsenal fans, and we're probably victims of it too, to a slight degree, with winning the FA Cup and, you know, the Community Shield, and to a degree just Arteta in general. I won't say there's a full sense of security because people know we're rubbish, but in the sense of, I think people are under some false pretense that this is a serious mission we need to get on if we want to get back to the top 4. There's almost some sense that we have a base level of player to work with, when this squad mentally has a lot of things wrong. And it's all fun and games saying it now and showing it in isolated incidences in the cup final. But as you've seen, my guy, 38 games alone in the Premier League, when the going is tough, we normally fail. So I agree with you on that. You mentioned vaguely Holding and Chambers. Now, I can't decide which one I would keep, which one I would sell. So I wanted to put the question to you. And before you answer, obviously we're going to get on to Bellerin. But if Bellerin and Kolasinac goes, do you think we probably have to keep Chambers? Because at a push, he could be used at fullback. But yeah, man, out of the two, you going with?
I'd say we'd have to keep Chambers regardless because of the injury. I don't think many teams are going to make that plunge. And at the same time, before Mari, before Saliba, before Gabriel, if you're going to put our centre-backs in order, Chambers is going to be, for me, above Holding, above Mustafi, above Socrates, above everyone bar maybe Luiz, and even that on a good day he might be. So for me, you've got to keep Chambers at least for this season, because there's still a lot more work to be done next summer, and there's a few players that I do want to get rid of, but I wouldn't do it now. Like, I'd do it next summer.
Talk to me. Who are those, man? Because we've actually never spoke about who's that.
We can't sell central midfielders, bro. So you know how I feel about Xhaka, but at the same time, we can't sell Xhaka this summer. It just doesn't make sense. We need 2-3 centre midfielders with Xhaka, let alone selling him.
We're live already, yeah, facts.
Yeah. So I can, like, as much as I'm a critic of him, and as much as I know we need improvement on him, I know we can't sell him this summer. And at the same time, I also know that he's done enough in the latter half of the season for Arteta to say, okay, maybe we can make do with you there for this year and then improve on that position next summer. If that makes sense. Because even the central midfielders we bring in this year, we're going to have to partner them up with Xhaka more often than not. So it's not necessarily a replacement this summer. So him being one prime example for me that we can't sell yet. Another one for me might be Lacazette. I feel like if we sell Lacazette this year, then we're going to have to buy some sort of an attacking outlet, whether that's on the wings or and are we ready to do that business at Arsenal Football Club? Probably not in one window. So there's players that I know we're going to have to see past eventually, but we're going to have to shift it to next summer. And that's just 2 examples. There's more there, and Chambers is probably another one. Martinez or Leno is going to be another one for different reasons.
Elephant in the room. One has to go eventually. You can't keep keeping them in the dark. You hear Arteta said, I ain't told which one's number one, but something has to give. People said you don't praise Xhaka, and you spoke very highly of Xhaka. Like my man just said, spot on Turkish. You see, my thing with Xhaka, I don't think he's a bad player. I just feel in an ideal world, Xhaka isn't your main sort of guy. I think he could be used in the squad. Midfield scares me, bro, like we speak about, because I think midfield didn't get enough slack for how they don't protect the defense. And for me, it's nothing to do with Xhaka. I see Xhaka and El Nene's been all right in these little appearances, but Xhaka and El Nene, it don't fill me with any confidence that over the whole season, that is a centre mid pairing good enough to get top 4. You've got Guendouzi and Torreira probably leaving. If Thingy comes, like you said, Partey, 20 million if he comes, that's another thing. How do you think people are making enough noise about midfield or the need for better midfield?
Nah, definitely making more noise than last summer, but I feel like it's a problem we've had for a few summers now. I feel like Partey should have been the one we went all out for, because not only do we need him, we probably need somebody else in there as well. And when I look at the market now, Deluded, yeah, in my honest opinion, I feel like a month ago, when no one was around Van der Beek, we could have probably got him for 40 mil. And that to me, I don't want to dwell on it, yeah, but that to me still shows that Arsenal Football Club back room is still not working as well as I would have hoped. Because for 40 mil and for 50 mil with Partey, 90 mil, you have 2 midfielders that are going to start for you.
That are going to start.
Guaranteed, and bring everything you need into the squad. And that 90 mil should be about our budget for the summer without sales anyway. It should be light work to do that.
It's only up from there. It's only up from there.
With FFP relaxed, it just makes so much sense to do that. But instead, Van der Beek's moved on. Obviously, Man United are Champions League. I'm not saying we could have competed with them for him, but at the same time, they don't really need him. They don't need him. They got Fernandes. In my opinion, Donny is just he does the same thing Fernandes does in a different way. That's goal and assist from midfield. So Partey, 50 mil. I'd add Doucouré to that for 25, but I know they want 35. That's a bit mad, in my opinion. I'd go 25 there. And at the same time, this Aouar business, I just feel like, in all honesty, I don't believe it, Deluded. I don't believe that we are linked.
I'm with you. I want to be wrong, bro. You know me, I like these young players. Everybody's seen Aouar for a while. I do think he's one of these players that, you know, Arsenal fans, we sensationalize players, make out that they're a level they're not, or they're invincible when they're not. I think they do that with him. I want him, bro, badly, but I can't see it. Like, I can't see how you can shell out for Partey. You know, we've made a commitment with Saliba and Gabriel and all the other business and the wages with Willian and potentially Aubameyang, and still have money to spare. Like, I want to be wrong, because at the end of the day, I don't know how much money we have in the bank. But like you said, if we just go off base of what we're told as fans, the P's ain't there. So if we don't go for Aouar, who do we get? Like, obviously, I'm not asking who we get, because you know me, I don't like these transfer things, but it's like these creative sort of modern day midfielders, you kind of got to shell out, and it's like there's not really any for the price range that Arsenal's been.
Because my thing is, Deluded, yeah, all our fans are talking about what it's estimated at 60 mil for Aouar, yeah. Van der Beek is better than Aouar, and he's with Bergkamp's daughter for 40 mil, and we didn't even.
Bergkamp's daughter.
He's with Bergkamp's daughter, and we didn't even test the waters, bro. So that's why I can't believe that we're in for a while. Because Van der Beek made so much sense to me, and we missed out on that. Our Arsenal Football Club really seeing past Van der Beek and going for a 60 million player that hasn't even done us half as much as Donny van der Beek in terms of moments in Europe, in my opinion.
Let me be devil's advocate with you, yeah, for that. Let's just say they could consider the Van der Beek thing, but they're all their eggs are firmly on the Aouar basket. In the same way, it seemed like we wanted Upamecano. That was the one. It didn't bang, so we've now got Gabriel. What if we do turn around and get Aouar? Because me and you have to eat humble pie, because I don't believe it. You don't believe it. What statement does that bring out if Edu and Arteta do get that over the line?
I think it's a big statement, but you know what? It will remind me of last year with Pepe. I didn't, but going into the season, from about November last season, not the season just gone, the season before, I was watching Pepe at Lille, because I was seeing things. I watch European football highlights and whatnot. I was seeing things, so I was paying closer attention to him. Them times, I don't remember, but I said we need a winger as much as we need a centre back and a centre mid those times. Obi and Mickey are not doing it. So moving into the summer, I wanted Pepe, but I just thought it's not happening. Then we was linked, and I thought, this is all mad. This is the clip.
Much interest in Donny.
Then we done it, and I can't lie to you, I was gassed at the time, and I probably did lose myself a little bit, and lose the bigger picture, because it's a player I wanted that we got. So like you're saying that, Aouar, I want him. Don't get it twisted. And my opinion that Van der Beek is better, yeah, is just my opinion. It's a debate to be had. So if we was to get Aouar in 2-3 years, my opinion could change on that. But I would eat humble pie in terms of that deal. But like the Pepe one, we didn't do enough around it to make an impact on the season. So I'm still gonna have that pessimism in me deluded. You know, where I'm gonna be happy about the signing, but I'm gonna be like, who's gonna allow him and release his shackles? Where's the party? That's what I'm gonna say.
Don't see, bro. This is what fans don't see. They thought Pepe is gonna come here and just be a madman, which he can be if he's given the facilities. Arsenal fans expect every centre-half that comes through this door to just change everything by themselves. It don't work like that, and I think fans need to get that out. I've been buoying this guy for a minute. His question's been here. Like, you mentioned Lacazette, and he literally asked this straight away. He mentioned Edouard. Now, I saw today that Celtic have to raise funds and sell certain players, apparently 25 million. Like you said vaguely about, you know, we're trying to do other things. Are we going to pursue a striker? I don't know. But in theory, would you take Edouard to replace Lacazette?
I don't know enough about him, to be honest, but I do know we need some more balance in attack. Lacazette brings hold-up play that no other striker of ours does bring. So I'd need to know more about Edouard before I say that. And reason being, because it's all about balance for me and fluidity and transition and who works well off each other. So as much as Edouard might be doing his thing at Celtic, I need to see his skill set and understand how he's going to help Pepe, Oba, Willie and the people behind him, or why if he comes in. But yeah,
who do you think we need more out of? Someone did just ask this as well. Well, they've just said it and it made me think. He said we need Partey more than Aouar because we need that boss man in midfield. Personally, I don't think that's 100% true. I think we need steel and grit and all of them things. But when we can't really break down teams, we don't really dominate possession. Attack isn't a form of defense, what Arsenal used to be accustomed to. So I think it's levels. But at a push, who would you go for? I would have, if I asked myself this a week ago, I would have said Partey, but I'm more leaning towards Aouar now because if we are going to be top heavy, who are you going for?
Yeah, it's a mad one. I think we probably need both equally. I get what you're saying. If we was to get Aouar, half that job in the middle is done because at least you can put teams on the back foot in the middle of the park now. The problem we have in the middle of the park now, we have no players that can put a team on the back foot. Do you know what I mean? Ceballos is probably the best at it, but he's still not efficient at it. With Aouar, if the ball gets to him, teams are going to feel threatened. So at least would have that. Same way with Partey, you got a bit more steel there, but then you'd lack the transition in the middle. You'd lack that fear factor that Aouar can bring. So there's a balance to it. I'd actually say 50-50 in my opinion. I can't pick between what we need. I feel like we need both immediately.
Fam, that's why I asked you. You said it there, man. It's like I can talk about the creativity, but then when we're getting dominated in midfield, it's air. When we've got guys that can clamp, man, but they can't pass the ball forward, it's air. Would you keep Lacazette? Because I always like asking you Lacazette questions because you're one of the only guys like me. You're a big fan of Lacazette, but you look at it without emotion. I struggle to do that with Lacazette for obvious reasons. But it's like when I look at the price tag, I look at for all the general play and hold up play and the rest. But the price tag, the numbers. New contract at 29. Do you give him one?
This is my thing. He's going into the last 2 years, isn't it? And if you get a nice bid this year, if you get a Juve or Atletico that do want to put the P's down, yeah, do it. Because in my opinion, yes, I am a fan of Lacazette. It just hasn't worked out at Arsenal Football Club. That's all I can say for it. I'm not going to get down his neck about it. I feel like there's been things happening behind the scenes that have not allowed many players the platform to succeed in the past few years. But like you said, the price tag, 45, 50 mil, the outlay, the productivity, it just hasn't worked. And in the end, look, yeah, in 3 years, yeah, we're not challenging for the league title in the next 3 years. In 3 years, we've got another massive problem with Aubameyang hitting 34 years of age. We've got work to do there. We cannot now have Lacazette on top of that. At 32, 33 years of age, we start looking past the players and these emotional attachments. I keep on saying to man, look at Liverpool. Liverpool fans had to lose Suarez and Coutinho.
Two of their gods.
Two of their gods players as well. And we're crying about, people are crying to me because I say Ceballos is this, or I say Bellerin is this, or Maitland-Niles. Bro, we're going to have to see past a lot of these players on the Arsenal squad. To lose that emotional attachment because just look at Liverpool. They lost big names to get where they are now. Let's not be arguing and bickering about the Bellerins and the Ceballos of this side. Like, open your eyes, like, seriously.
Facts on that. Facts on that. We might as well speak about Ceballos. I was planning on touching on him later, sorry, but you mentioned it. He seems to be coming back on loan. What's your feelings on that? And does that impact our ability to bring in midfielders, or is it, you know, being a bit coy? Because apparently there's no loan fee. We're just looking after his wages. There's no loan fee. Could mean a couple extra million in the bank to go and get whoever we want, whether that's the Hours or the Parties or whoever.
What, did you hear? There's no loan fee?
Apparently, yeah, they said Madrid are forfeiting the loan fee, unlike last time. We're taking on all of his wages, allegedly, reports say. So for me, that tells me we're trying to be smart about our pennies and maybe go harder elsewhere.
Yeah. Well, obviously, remember 3 weeks ago when apparently Real rejected our loan bid for him again? It's because we obviously last year we paid 3.5 mil plus 100% of his wages. This year we tried to say 50% of wages and no loan fee. So they rejected that, to get me. And then obviously this fan base has now turned around here. Not this fan base. Certain people have now turned around here and said, oh, see, Ceballos has wanted that Real Madrid. You see, he's always been good enough for Arsenal, this and that. But it was never that. It was just that we tried it with the P's. Now we've got the deal done. 100% of wages. Don't get me wrong. Ceballos improves our midfield. Technically, he's head and shoulders above anyone in that middle for us right now.
Facts.
But if I look at last season, and I can only look at last season, he was at Arsenal Football Club. We had a gaping problem in central midfield and attacking midfield, both. And he was tried in both. And in my honest opinion, he didn't do enough in both. He played 30 games in all competitions last season, got 2 goals, 2 assists. I'm not saying that's the be-all and end-all for my central midfielder, but what I am saying is, why are certain fans so up in arms about my opinion on Ceballos not being good enough, when in reality we've seen that we need better? Yesterday on Rance's show, Deluded, what I said is, if we brought in a Cazorla now, for a year loan in his prime, he would shit on what Ceballos did last season. If we brought in a Thomas Rosicky for a year in his prime,
he's in a Jack Wilshere right now, blood, in his prime. Well,
yes, Fabregas, he would shit on it. And these players we had, and we still never achieved our goals in terms of challenging and winning league titles. But they are players that are the measuring stick for me. My standards do not drop. My standards are not dropping for nobody. I measure it up to them and the impact players like that could have. And there's players like that across the world, bro. You know? So we're stuck on Ceballos when there might be another guy around the corner that's actually going to do more for us. But it just feels like it makes sense for us. It seems like because we've done it last year, we're going to do it again. But don't get me wrong, you need to do certain things because next summer, there's more to be done. So I like the year deal. I like that. I'm just not going to be climbing over walls about it because, like you said, it can impact other buys. If Arsenal fans get ahead of themselves right now and lose themselves for Ceballos, best believe this boardroom, this ownership will be looking at it like, yeah, we did our thing. We gave them.
Yeah, we did all right. Fans can't get onto us.
Keep the pressure on, man. Keep the pressure on.
For me, with Ceballos, it's a weird one because when he came, I was excited because I looked at it. You've got a platform. Like, we might be Arsenal. We're trying to get top 4 and all of these. I was looking at it. You want to play for Real Madrid. You don't want to be at Arsenal. You want to play for Spain. So you should be doing within reason what Aubameyang's doing. Man of the match performances. You know, you've been at Madrid. You should play to the level where it looks stupid that Zidane ever did this to you. And he only, if we're harsh, he only really came into it the end of last year, the turn of this year. Because there were times Joe Willock's getting in ahead of him. Now we hear he's been training better. For me, I thought Ceballos would have, when he came, like you said, the assist and goals ain't the be-all and end-all, but I would have expected a bit more of a healthy return. I would have expected a bit more control from him in games. What I've seen from him is kind of what we know is that he's superb technically. Like you said, head and shoulders above man. He can dribble. I think he invites a lot of pressure onto himself, but he likes the ball. He likes to be on the ball. I just think he doesn't play in positions that is going to hurt the team. Like, on the pitch, I don't think he realizes that it's about goals and assists. Let me get further up. I think he plays on instinct too much. And it's a thing where I think Ozil suffered from it. Santi suffered from it. When you've got one creative man in that middle, they're going to, even if William plays in the middle, they're going to struggle because they're going to have to drop deep. Carl, we haven't got 2 technicians in the midfield. Like, Xhaka can pass it, but he's not the man for that. It's like, would you consider Ceballos permanent?
Like, you see, sorry, Omar, just like a couple minutes ago, he said he was immense towards the end of last season, and I feel he will do well in a settled system next term. Omar's my guy. That's why I want to reply to this, innit? Big up Omar.
Big up Omar. He's across everybody's thing, man.
Trust me. But listen, Omar, the word immense, bro. Yeah, that was not immense. He done well at the end of last season.
Listen,
Ceballos was a part of the side that lost to Villa, that lost to Brighton. Yeah, Ceballos wasn't starting against Liverpool when we beat them 2-1. So a lot of that good work towards the end of the season was Mikel Arteta's organisation, Mikel Arteta's structure, because different players played in certain games and performed very well. Maitland-Niles only played in about 3-4 of the 12-13 games we had after restart, and he played them left wing back, and he'd done a job there. Is he a left wing back? No, but no one played immense apart from potentially Aubameyang last season and after Project Restart or whatever you want to call it.
Young Saka before the restart.
He played well, but not immense, and that's just my thing. Sorry, I had to just get that in there.
I know, man. Like I echo what you said, man. I think what I like about what Ceballos showed me, he showed me a better work rate defensively, especially since Arteta came into the team. He showed me some technicality. It looks like he kind of takes it personally if we don't win. The problem I want to see from Ceballos and everybody, and it's probably a case for Arteta, I want to see a bit more controlling game. So obviously I'm going to look at these creative men. I would love Ceballos to be 20 goals, 10 goals, 10 assists, sorry, but I don't think that's him. I want to see a bit more. And I think potentially what I would look to do, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm trying to see Xhaka, Ceballos and Willian in that 10 position. So I think that would be a bit more creative in that sort. Before obviously Omar came in, I asked you, would you make Ceballos a permanent transfer?
He's got a lot to prove this season, so it's all about this season. But yet again, there's no option to buy. Look, last year I thought the way Ceballos was moving. Last year I thought Ceballos is moving to Arsenal for a year to make a name for himself and either go back to Real or get a big money move somewhere else. Obviously, it looks like he likes it. He likes it a lot more now. But without no option to buy again, I just feel like
we're training
options open. We're probably keeping our options. It's the right thing to do because he hasn't proved anything to me yet to warrant a full fixed contract.
Putting out the outlay on him. Obviously, Pirate King, thank you for your super chat, man. Sorry for taking long. You've said Ceballos triggered our transfer spree last year. Let's hope that happens this year too, hopefully. Also, I'd play Emil Smith-Rowe over Willock. Now, I have it on good authority that yesterday against QPR, Emil Smith-Rowe got a goal and assist. I would play Emil Smith-Rowe over Joe Willock, but I have to concede, regardless of what I feel, my guy, there must be a reason that Ljungberg, Emre, Arteta, I might even be missing someone else out, all played Joe in that position ahead of some man that we think are better. There must be something he's shown. I hope Emil Smith-Rowe does it, man. I want to see him and Nelson really come up heaps and bounds. Not too sure where Emil fits in the tactical setup if we play 3-4-3, if it's not on the flanks, because, you know, we play with fullbacks. If we can force a creative midfielder, we could do our thing. But, you know, he's going to have to be patient. Willock, I like Willock, but he's going to have to put in a shift this year. He's actually not in the England under-21 side. And Nelson, Saka, I believe Eddie are. So that's bound to hurt him, my guy. So it is where it is. There's another super chat. Thank you very much for your super chats. Yours isn't coming up, but it says, do you gents think Aouar will be a more important signing than Partey since Ceballos is coming and he has a partnership with Xhaka? That's kind of what we've been speaking about already, my guy. Let me put...
Yeah, there's even another super chat there. Why Chelsea hyping up a Ziyech pass that Pepe been doing to Oba all season? What did Ziyech get an assist or something?
I don't know, my guy. I don't know. I can't even see that one there. I don't know. That must be
he must be talking about that Pepe trademark back post cross, because Pepe did that a lot of times this season. And you know what? That leads to Pepe, you know. We haven't talked about Pepe all summer, and I love that because he needs some pressure relieved of him. And I actually think, this is going to be his season. To get what I'm saying? I actually think it's going to be man.
Preach, man.
I just hope he's in Arteta's plans, you know. I just hope that because in my opinion, when I see Pepe, he works harder now too under Arteta towards the end of the last season. He played in the big games as well. So hopefully it's his season, man.
You see with Pepe, what do you think it is with Pepe? Because on one hand, I think Arteta rates him, and then I think he doesn't. I say he rates him because at the same time, you know, we spent 70-odd million on man. Whether man rate him or not, we've got to make this work. And he made some comments in relation to, like you just kind of echoed it. He said that Pepe can kind of improve defensively, and now you're seeing it. It's like, do you think he really rates Pepe? Because if I'm honest, I think he does, but I think he doesn't. Like, don't get it twisted. I rate Saka's come up into the team, and I like Nelson. But don't you feel it should be non-debatable? Pepe starting over them. It shouldn't be close. Like, this young man who was in the academy a year ago, you should be starting ahead of him, sort of thing.
100%. I mean, Pepe is by far our best right winger. Now, I know Saka's done his thing there, but I prefer Saka. Even AM right now, Saka's looking a lot better than on the right. He looks a better left wing back. So for me, Pepe is out and out our best right winger. And I'm like you. I feel like there's something there that Arteta doesn't like. But at the same time, he got given responsibility towards the end of the season that makes me think maybe it is that Guardiola or that
I want to provoke you to improve yourself sort of thing.
Yeah, poke you till you know really start picking up. And I feel like I'm hoping it's that. I'm really hoping it's that, because he should be one of the first names on the team sheet, bro.
Should be undebatable, fam.
He's got attacking qualities that no other Arsenal player has got and probably has had in the last 5, 6, 7. When's the last player that could run at man?
Run at bare, man. And people don't deep it. He can play in tight spaces. Like, he's not one of these merchants that needs bare space. He can play it. What do you feel like, Carl? You see, when I think about Pepe, yeah, I cut him a lot of slack, Carl. He's come into a team that's not really gelling in an attacking sense. He's had turbulent time with managers, obviously adapting to the team. There's been confidence. He ain't had a consistent right back to really play with. You know, our left side and our right half in an attacking sense is all the way up there. So I cut him a lot of slack. But what do you feel like specifically like Pepe can do to change it for himself? Because I think he needs to be a bit more like on really like demand the ball a bit more, demand that this is my club sort of thing. I am the difference maker. I'm the 70-odd million man in the humble.
Yeah. I agree with you. Put all them things aside, because I do think all them things are big. Don't get it twisted. I think not having a consistent right back behind him and the free managers and the price tag, a mix of them are quite big on a young player's shoulders. But what he can do himself is, like you said, just take more ownership. You're a year in now, so I can understand being a bit, I call it shy in your first season.
Right, that's the best way to put it, shy blood. That's what I was trying to think of, another word for that.
But in your second season, I want to see a bit more passion. I want to see that you want that ball, because even till this day, you see Mane and Salah flipping at each other sometimes because they want the ball. And if you don't give them the ball, they're frustrated. And it's not necessarily an ego thing. It's a best for the team thing, and you can see that working. With Pepe, I want the same. I want him to be at the back post calling for it. I want him to have the ball and take man on. I want him to start owning himself in this team a bit more than he has been over the last year. Implement yourself. You know, it's going to go wrong sometimes, but it's going to go right sometimes too. And the consistency just needs to come in with that confidence.
And that's like you said, man. I think Pepe, when it starts clicking for him, it will click, because even when it wasn't, he was showing us little glimpses. Like, obviously, we lost to Liverpool, what was it, at Anfield last season in the league, but he did that little dribble against Van Dijk. Obviously, he should have scored against Sheffield, but he shows us some moments. Like, he's played well against City, he's played well against United. Fair enough, it's Aston Villa, but we was chasing the game against Villa. We went and scored. I think there's something in there, man. Do you think he exclusively has to play on the right for you? Because I hear a lot of striker talk and in behind. I actually feel on the left at times.
No, he has to play on the right, because he's a player that's got the attacking qualities to run at man. And when you're a striker, certain times you're picking up the ball and the defenders are straight into your back, at least on the wing. And that's another part of the problem. On the wings at Arsenal, our transition has been so slow over the past year. It gets to him and every man's behind the ball. We need the ball getting to the Obbers and the Pepes a lot quicker. And what Tierney's done, have you seen that mode of attack, I call it, where Tierney gets it and he plays the long ball over the top down the line?
Over the top or fits behind. He's not here for the lay-lating.
That's many teams already. You can see that transition. And now you've added Gabriel there as well. You can see it's going to be Gabriel to Tierney to Obba, or it's going to be Gabriel to overlapping Tierney, or it's going to be Gabriel straight over the top.
And even
attack. I feel that's what Pepe needs on the right, so he can get the ball as quick as possible. Because early on, do you remember Liverpool? Do you remember Tottenham? He was getting the ball over the top. The first game of the season, he ran at Van Dijk, dipped Robertson. I'm not just on about these moments because he needs to do more. He needs to be finishing them and adding to the productivity. But you can see something there. And
numbers are respectable. Like, there's a fact, his numbers are good, they're not poor. It's like, do you feel like there's a bit of an agenda against Pepe in that? Obviously, when we know that the 70 million price tag, he's not a 70 million man. We both know that it's not exactly 70 million up front, but we know football's agendas, headlines, all of these sort of things. Do you feel there's a degree that he can never do anything right? Like, unless he wins PFA Player of the Year and we win the league, he's never justifying that fee.
Of course there is, man. You know this internet generation, fam. You know how they are, fam. Because at the end of the day, look, yeah, this is the first time you can say that we've overspent for a player. Like, unless you're talking about the Mustafis and the Xhakas, yeah, this is the first time you can really say we've overspent in terms of like the big boys do. But Man United spent 80 on Maguire. Chelsea spent 75 on Morata.
And Kepa
spent 90 on Lukaku or 75, right? They've made mistakes too that don't get highlighted as much because Arsenal is clickbait. We're on strings, you know. So it's easy for them to rally us up. The media, everyone involved. It's easy for them to pick at us and make it a bigger thing than it would be at other clubs. Other clubs make these mistakes all the time. We've done it once, and you can't even say it's a mistake yet. Until this season passes, that's when I'll give you a fair estimation of my value of Pepe.
What's a respectable season from you for Pepe? Like, obviously the season ain't started, but what are you hoping for? Is there a particular number you want him to hit? Like, well, what would be a good season this time next year for Pepe?
Pepe, for me, a good season has to be a minimum 10 goals, minimum 10 assists, I'd say.
All comps, yeah?
I'd say 20 goal contributions minimum. Nah, I'm saying 20 in the Premier League.
Bro, Turkish is on him, Pepe. I tried to get you some blighs. They're on you, bro. They're on you.
Nah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Trust me. I feel you can do that. 10-10 or 12-8 or 13-7 or 9. He does the 20. I feel like he's capable of doing that. And with Arteta, with some more players around him, with a better system, and hopefully he's starting. This all depends on if he starts the season. You know, if he's the first choice right winger, then I'm going to go for 20 goal contributions. If not, then it could be another season where he doesn't live up to it again, and we're going to have to sell him next year.
I don't want to sell him at all, but it's a reality. I keep missing out these super chats. We've got another one. Appreciated that, my guy, man. Really appreciative. He said, with transfers and rumours, I'm buzzing, but I think about striker after Aubameyang. I honestly feel Martinelli should be it, not Nketiah. Thoughts, gents? Turkish, what are you feeling on Martinelli playing through the middle when back and fit?
Martinelli is probably the next one up, but you're still going to need someone there that's going to add in between that period. I feel like Nketiah, he's just going to move on maybe next summer now. I feel like he's not good enough. He's never going to be good enough. And that's enough. I don't want to sound like I'm criticizing him too much. I just feel like it's the standards thing again, you know? It's the standards thing again. And Nketiah, Joe Willock, these men are academy, yes. Cool, yes. But the best we can get out of them is sell-on value to improve our squad properly, like Chelsea do, like United do, like these men do. Make 30 to 40 mil every year off their academy and push that towards, you know, better talent, better quality.
Just bringing in better additions that are going to help us.
Like now, Martinelli. Look at the difference between Martinelli and Nketiah. It's like day and night.
For me, it's the aura, you know. It's the aura that Martinelli comes with. It's like, I like Eddie, but I share with what you're saying. It's like Martinelli always screams like he's trying to make something happen. He just, you know, from the minute you saw him, he just screams like he really understands it. Eddie looks like he's reacting too much. Like, I don't mind if Eddie B's a squad player, because what he brings to the table in isolation isn't bad. Provided what you said, that we have, whether it's Laka or someone else or Martinelli, we've got other men scoring these goals. I don't mind having Eddie Nketiah. Like, I know he's not the same, but for me, he can be a little like a Welbeck thing. If you bring him on, you know, play him in the cups, you bring him on, let him chase man down. I'm not looking at him to score goals, like, and he's gonna live and die by that, which is why he could be moved on. Yeah, so I don't mind, man. So Turkish took that one away, man. Turkish, you said something and it made me think, you know, Willock and Eddie, they seem to be the ones that everyone's looking at as squad players, but they're in the balance. Which one would you think has more of a future at Arsenal, potentially?
I'd probably say Joe Willock, man. Reason being because I'd say Joe Willock is a bit more efficient in his position than Nketiah is in his position. I just feel like Nketiah doesn't add what I see the fine. Like, Arteta's building a team to get to a place where we're playing a certain way, and I just don't feel Nketiah is part of that vision. Where I can see Joe Willock maybe not starting, but at least being a squad member at the very least. So yeah, between the two, I'm looking at Willock probably more long term than Eddie.
That's how I feel, man. I feel both would benefit from loans. I feel Joe needs to play games. I understand if Joe stays, at least right now on paper, we ain't got no midfielders, so we need him. But I think he needs to be looking at, can I get 20 league games? Because you're at that level now. Yeah, training is cool and you will improve under Arteta, but you need to do things that's going to make you a dramatically better player. That's why I was all for Eddie going to Leeds. I was all for him going out on loan. I mean, the reason why I'm prepared to give him some slack, because Eddie's kind of, I didn't have much high hopes for Eddie or think he could impress me, but he's kind of shown me a little bit of something, and it's not necessarily the goals because he ain't scored many. He looks a bit stronger. He's looked like when Lacazette lost his pace out the team and Eddie took it, he looked like he could do it. Now there could be a number of reasons for that. When man got a place to play for, it is that. I just feel, I share what you feel. I mean, sooner or later, this work rate thing is not going to be able to cut Eddie, because even against Liverpool, he worked hard, didn't play bad, but we spoke about he missed 2 clear-cut chances. That game goes a different way. We're focusing on that, man. For me, I'll give Eddie a new contract purely because he's contracted until 2022. If he's going to be in this squad for a year now, then his value is going to improve. Like, he's gone from being he's still a young player, but a young player to almost a rotation option. Let's look after our P's. Can that be, I don't want to lose the next 20 million or 30 million. Eddie. So that's what I'm looking at. And I agree what you said, man. Resale value. That's why I want Maitland-Niles to stay. But if the club had a plan to say, boom, we're signing another fullback, we're doing all these other things, we can move on and whatnot, man. But we ain't even spoken about Maitland-Niles, my guy. We ain't spoken about him. What's your feelings on Maitland? Obviously, he's had a great birthday on Saturday, getting in the England team. Looks like he's staying at the club. What are you saying for Maitland, and does he feature in your plans at this club?
Obviously, people have probably seen a few videos in it, but it's been a week where obviously he was linked to Wolves. I brought out a video based off that, and I said, for 20 mil, you sell Maitland-Niles. Obviously, he's expressed himself over the last few years that he doesn't see himself as a defender. He wants to move back natural position. And in the Athletic in July, Ornstein confirmed that he is potentially looking to move in the summer. So with all of that in mind, I said 20 mil I'd take. The Community Shield came. Obviously, he started left wing back again, and obviously done his thing again. He got man of the match. And my post-match interview was still based off the knowledge of he wants to move on and he wants to. I then come home, and the next day I see that his heart's at Arsenal Football Club, and if we want him to stay, he will stay. Then I put my hands up and say, if that's the case, then you have to move on Bellerin, because I'm not going into another season with them two fighting for right back again. Put Maitland-Niles as right back, sell Bellerin, and make your P. Stop telling me we ain't got P's. Make your P off Bellerin. Yeah, we've Maitland-Niles a fan, but I'm not against him either. I feel like he brings something to the squad in terms of knowledge of the game. He can play multiple positions and he can do them well. He's a jack of all trades, but a king of none. And at the same time, you need that in every squad. It's good to hear his heart set at the club, because you need that sort of a player. But once the season starts, when Tierney goes left back or left wing back, if Maitland-Niles doesn't go right back or right wing back, will he still be happy next summer? And his stock won't be as high as it is now. So all we can do is wait and see. But right now, as it stands, I'd put Maitland-Niles as right back.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he's one of the few players I disagree with you at. And obviously, I'm extremely biased. I mean, I see a bit of myself in Maitland-Niles when I play fullback. He obviously comes from Haylen. I like him. I'm a bit different. I thought 20 million is too cheap purely because of that English tax. Like, I genuinely believed other teams are getting 30 or so, whether he's worth that or not, because the market's gone a bit mad. I agree with what you said in that, he's spoken about wanting to play games. He needs to play games. He's a bit of a weird one where he'll play like 5 games in a row, then won't be involved for a couple of things. So if he felt like I'm not part of this thing and I want to move on, and he got a new agent, I get that. I share with what you say. I think he's not a midfielder, in that Arteta doesn't see him as a midfielder, regardless of what he says, because he hasn't been given an opportunity there. And I've seen Willock. If he wants right back, then I'm all for that, man. I'm all on selling Bellerin. Like, I want Bellerin to stay, but it's like, end of the day, he's 25. He's been here for a while. Maybe him leaving will improve Bellerin for himself. Like you said, make our peace. 30 million. How much did we technically sign Bellerin for? It must have been a couple mil. So let's just make our bread and move forward. But it's like, do you feel if Kolasinac and Bellerin leave that we need another fullback? Because
no. If Kolasinac leave, we got Tierney, and then you've got Saka potentially as the backup there, or you got Maitland-Niles.
True.
Or you got Cedric. Cedric is left and right footed.
I'm not gonna lie, Cedric, bro. I'm not convinced. I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong.
But you can't say that because we haven't seen enough, bro.
I can, bro, because when I go to the South, again, I want to be wrong. But when I look at the Southampton games, and we'll talk a bit of air about that in as well, I can't speak. But it's like every time I've seen him, he looks indifferent, man. Like, he looks like an unsure young player. Like, I hope to be wrong. I want him to just be a competent option, but he does some things I'm thinking, yeah, this guy looks cool. And then I'm like, he comes with that Bellerin stuff, like that Bellerin shit at right back. And it's like, you're 29. I'm not really here for this now, man. It's like, there's a case to sell.
I haven't seen that yet. I can't lie. I haven't seen enough of him yet to make a judgment. I just feel like, from what I know of him in the past, I'm going to give him a chance. But I do still expect Maitland-Niles to start. I'd say Cedric is a bit better defensively, but Maitland-Niles offers a more all-round approach. But at the same time, look against Liverpool. Cedric, come on, yeah? If Joe Willock buries that header, because that was a ball by Cedric into the box. If Joe Willock buries the header, another attacking outlet from him on that side, and he's only had a handful of games for us. So it's like, I need to see how it builds. Arteta obviously kind of backed him when he signed. He said that he's our best attacking fullback. So I want to see what Arteta's got in mind there. But I feel like you can sell Kolasinac and you can sell Bellerin, and you don't even need to do anything with that position. That's why it's baffling to me. You need money. You're flooded in fullback. Sell Bellerin, sell Kolasinac. You've still got cover on each side. You've still got quality on each side. And then fix other areas. Do you get what I'm saying?
I agree with what you said, man. We've been having a great convo, but we've actually gone off what I wanted to speak about. Yeah, I wanted to ask you about Arteta. Not what I haven't asked you before, but in the sense of, we know with Raul leaving and all of these things, Arteta's getting more of a sort of say in transfers. And then if I just read what Gabriel said, you know, Arteta's convinced him of his project. He says, having the coach himself call you to say he wants you in his squad motivates you a lot. That is the very reason I'm here today. He just told me he's aware of my quality, my capacity, and how far I can go. He also said he'll be very demanding with me. I know he is a great coach, and I will make progress with his help. So yeah, man, do you like when we spoke about Arteta, a lot of concerns from the wider fan base was, you know, he is a novice in football. How will he be able to convince players of his project? Obviously, on the sporting side, it remains to be seen, but so far he has an idea. You know, he's been given more power in transfers. He still is a novice, but he's managed to convince a highly sought after young centre half that spending his prime years for 5 years or so here is the best thing to do. So what do you feel? Does that make you feel some sort of pride or any confidence in Arteta that he can convince players and bring the right man in?
I get the confidence from Arteta from what I hear myself, not necessarily what these new signings tell me. I feel like these new signings, the statements that come out all the time are very generic. Every new signing says, the manager called me, he spoke about the project, I believed in it. Because at the same time, you've got to see on Arsenal side of things, that makes Edu and Arteta look great as well. It makes them look like they've done a mad thing to get it done. But in essence, it's the size of this club, Arsenal Football Club. Gabriel's only played 50 games in league for Lille. Like, this football club is the attraction, first and foremost. But with Arteta, in terms of what he's saying and the project, I feel like I believe in what he's saying. I believe what he's saying is right. I believe he needs the necessary tools, like he said. So I'm very happy with Arteta, and you can see in the big games, he knows how to organize, structure. He knows how to instill that belief that you can win, even if you go a goal down, even if they peg you back, you can get the result that you need. And that's something we haven't had in a long time, and that includes Wenger's last few years at the club as well.
That's facts. That's fully facts.
Yeah, come on, people. Smash that like button, man. How many people's online now, bro? There's bare man online.
Abuse that thing. My man's just thrown me off with the conversation. He said, you found your YouTube formula. The people are responding. Amazing content. And with Turkish to add that cherry on top, keep it up, my boy. Thank you very much for the super chat and your nice comments. Come on, man. Turkish compliments the side well, man. I make good side.
Usually I'm called negative. I'm not usually called the cherry on the top, but it is what it is.
You know what it is with you, man. People love you and then they hate you. Like, you're the perfect example of, as long as people say you say what people agree with, they think you're the most knowledgeable person. What I like about you is that you admit you don't know everything, you get it wrong. But two, you don't let the whole whether we've won FA Cups, whether we've lost 5-0 sway your opinion on what you have to say. And I think people misunderstand you. It's like, you praise Xhaka throughout this whole conversation. People are still going to say you've got an agenda. Yeah. It's a madness. It really is a mazza, man. It really is.
There's a lot of things I want to be proven wrong on, fam. Like, I'm just like, that's the best. That's the best for us, fam. If we get proven wrong, then Arsenal are doing their thing. Well, for me, they're doing their thing. So prove me wrong. That's all I want.
So we've got another question, and I mean, I wasn't gonna get the questions out yet, but this one caught my attention. I'll let you take this, man. He said, DJ in Turkish, would you sign the Ox back as a centre mid if we got Partey? He's better than Ceballos, surely.
Nah, I wouldn't, man. Listen, Ox has gone to Liverpool, and it's been the same Ox that was at Arsenal Football Club. Don't ever get it twisted. He's just had better players around him. Yes, he's played in his favourite position a bit more, but you look at how many games he's played, the productivity he's added. It's pretty much the same stuff he's done at Arsenal. So I wouldn't take him back. I feel like we've moved on from there. Similar with Aaron Ramsey. Don't ask me would I take him back. Never. I just feel like you move on from these players. They leave you, in bad times. So for me to want to take them back, nah, not for me.
You wouldn't take Ramsey back?
Nah. He's a madman.
I don't know.
Contract. Man ran down his contract and left for free. The least he could have done was maybe added a year and let us sell him for some sort of money. If he really cared.
It's true. I don't know, bro, because it's like, I hear that. I hear what you're saying. I agree with you. But I look at our midfield. I'm like, if nobody else is going to come in and you can get a Ramsey on loan and this party and this hour thing isn't going to bang, we know people look at Ramsey with rose tints because they forget everything he did. But I might hear it, I might hear it. Like, hopefully I'm not, like, I can feel the devil in my ear trying to convince me on that thing, bro. Really trying to convince me. Bro,
I can see someone saying Ox is a Premier League and Club World Cup and Champions League winner. Yeah, bro. So is Dejan Lovren, bro. Does that mean Dejan Lovren's going to come in and sort out defense, bro? He's not going to sort out defense.
Exactly. And I will say this, like, listen, I like Ox, but does Ox look a dramatically better player with Arsenal than Liverpool? If you're honest, it's no. Like, he doesn't look better per se, and I like Ox. I want him to do well. Like Turkish said, we've moved on. We've got no ill feelings for him and whatnot, man. We didn't even talk about the Community Shield, man. How'd the game go for you? Like, what's your feelings on it? What happened? And talk to me, man.
I think, like, again, Arteta pulled one out the bag. I think, like, I didn't expect to have that much control in the first half. Like, I always knew the second half would be peak because the second half, more often than not, our fitness levels drop and whatnot. But in terms of that first half, we dealt with things well and we transitioned very well too. That Tierney to Oba transition, the goal where Bellerin to Saka to Oba, that was another mode of attack that we seem to be gaining as well. And Saka's work in the middle, he was picking up in the middle. And because he can go both ways, he was causing a lot of problems. He had two where he could have got 2 assists for Eddie Nketiah as well. He gets to the byline and he cuts back very well. So I was very impressed in that first half from everyone, aside from Bellerin in the first 30 getting caught out of position. But he picked it up and he obviously helped for that goal. Now, in the second half, this is where it's fine margin. Well, not fine margins right now, but it's like, as much as we can be happy about the win, as much as we can say we beat Liverpool, we won the Community Shield, there's 40 minutes of that first half or the second half where they was on to our necks. 40 minutes, yeah? How do we change that 40 minutes to 20 minutes? How do we change that 20 minutes to nothing? How do we change it to control the whole game? By replacing the players that need replacing, by adding the players that need to be added, So there can't be too much sentiment off the back of a Community Shield when I'm happy. But, bro, we beat Man City 3-0 in the Community Shield not so long ago. We beat Chelsea twice in the Community Shield and finished 6th.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's the kickoff of the season for me, but it is a pre-season game. Fulham away, that is the big one for me. And we need to go into that ready. Now we've got Gabriel. I expect to be ready in that department. Saliba, I want to ask you, obviously, he didn't start. Was that a surprise to you? Or
do you know what? It was, but it wasn't. I thought he would start because I thought, you could go David Luiz, him, and obviously Tierney. But I thought, considering MK Dons in Liverpool, the hype around Saliba, I can see why he ultimately opted to keep him out the team. Saliba strikes me as someone psychologically able, but again, the psychological things that go in with starting this game, he probably thought, your time will come, but it's not now. I think Saliba will start the season, man. I really do.
That's what I was going to ask you next. You think he'll start? So you think he'll be a free with Saliba, Luiz, Gabriel?
I don't think Gabriel will play against Fulham. I want to be wrong, and I don't know the chronological order. But if I look at it, he's been quarantined. I don't know when he starts training or if he'll start training when he does. Is that a lot of time to really integrate with the team and things like that? He screams one of these signings that we're just going to play straight away. But I'm inclined to believe that if it's a back four, it's going to be Luiz and Saliba. If it's a back three, I think either Holding or someone else or Tierney will get the nod in that regards. But I would love to. I'm on this failing fast thing, bro. I'm on Saliba, Gabriel, partner, put them in a back three with David Luiz potentially. Fail fast. There's going to be great games. There's going to be bad games. But we can't wrap man in cotton wool. It's a bit like Holding. We kind of wrapped Holding in cotton wool. Now maybe he weren't showing something on the football field, but I think for all of the frustrations around Holding, you can see a man that has no significant experience because he's not street smart, bro. So I think he will start, but I'm not too sure for Gabriel. Want to see them both though, man. Want to see them.
1.8K views, yeah?
We're doing bits, man. We're doing bits. We're doing bits, and we'll be back with this during the week on Turkish's show. Same week this week.
Yeah, yeah.
So you've got the alerts, man. You lot cry for us to do this, and this is the first time you lot are showing real love. Like my man said, everyone.
Saturday morning we'll do it on mine, isn't it? 12 o'clock Saturday.
Yeah. 12 o'clock Saturday. That's comfy for me. After
let the leader go do his gym thing and all that.
Yeah. You've been free this. Yeah. After the gym, I'm down for that, man. I'm down for that. But we're almost done. We're almost wrapping up stuff. I ain't got nothing more to ask you, so we might as well press towards the comments, man. Like you lot
we're taking questions, man. Get your questions in last 5 minutes. No, hit the like button, man. Hit the like button. Someone tell me what the
like it's the beard that has knowledge. Trust me, Turkish needs to give me that, bro.
Like, there's a brain somewhere in there, bro. This going on.
We got one still. We got one. How much would you like to see Willock improve? So much potential, but seems lacking. And Joe, it's like what Turkish was saying. It's like when you look at Joe and Eddie and Nelson, a couple of these men, you think there's a player in there. I think they all can have good careers, but it's fine margins. When I look at Joe, I badly want to be proven wrong, my guy, but I don't see him as a number 10 or the creative outlook. With experience and tutoring, things can change. But I think if anything, he's a number 8 or a box to box. I think he would have more. He'll even have more of a chance of making it Arsenal as a 6 than a 10 because I don't think it's him. He hasn't got the brain. He hasn't got the the technical. He's not quite as polished as that. I'd rather Saka in that role.
Yeah, 100%.
I do want him to improve. What's your feelings on Joe with that?
Pretty much the same, man. I think ideally he needs to hone his talents for one position. Like you just said, the people want to put him left, right, and center. But I think he's box to box at best, in my opinion. I think he's got the legs for it. I think he's got the demeanor for it and the physical presence to get up and down the pitch. He's got that run about him where he's got lanky legs where he can get across the pitch quite quickly. That's when I like him. When the moments I see Willock and I enjoy him on the ball is when he's transitioning from defense to attack. Like in and around the goal, he isn't the greatest. So when you put him in that 8 or 10, for example, his attacking productivity isn't there. So Saka, for example, Saka's a lot more of a threat. People want to back off Saka, and you need that in attacking mid. You need a player that people are going to back off from. Because if you've got a player where they're gonna approach him and cover him, you're not going to get much creativity from that guy.
I just think Joe Willock's problem for me is he panics too much. I think when you look at Saka and Martinelli, a big reason as to why they're good, they don't panic in situations. I feel Joe doesn't. They always say, and you played ball as well, when you're a midfielder, you got to see the picture before it's happened. I don't genuinely believe Joe Willock sees that. I think he reacts a lot. I think he plays quite blinkered. I think he plays with his head down. I even think defensively he has to improve, man. Like I think he's a big player. Like he could have when I say big, I don't mean he's gonna, be a captain in that, but I think he could be a decent player for us. But this is the thing about Arsenal. We've had and still have too much man like this where you think there's a player in them, there's an unearthed gem, and do we have to be cruel to kind? Not always pulled. When you got 5, 6, 7 of these man, it's not exactly ideal. When you got 1 or 2, it's calm.
That's exactly it, bro. Like that's exactly my point. Like the best platform for them is to have quality and abundance around them. Quality that they can strive to get to, not look around and see everyone in all their age mates making it at the same time. Like when you've got 5, 6, 7 youth players coming in at the same time, in my opinion, you need that push. You need that level around them that's going to help them still strive. Not feel like they've made it already, still learn. And some of these youngsters are learning, some of them are striving, but some of them you can see are like resting on their laurels and trying to coast it back.
Some 100% coasting. Nathan, and he's a moderator and he's mashing in work for me and it's appreciated. He said, DG/Turkish, would Thiago be someone you look to sign for us?
Bro, listen, this is a dream. This is a dream. Thiago, I'd take Thiago every day of the year, but he would not come to us. Why would he come to a team that's in Europa League for the last 4 years? It just doesn't make sense. But I'd start 2 Thiagos in the middle for Arsenal. So that's how deep it is.
Simple, like Turkish said. I mean, if Thiago's dumb enough to even consider joining Arsenal and listen to what Arteta and Eddie have to say, I'm all for that. But considering the fact of he's played for Barca and Munich, he's just come off a Champions League.
Yeah.
Why would you want to sign for us? If he wants a new challenge, if he's tired of being of the big clubs, then cool, fair play. But this is the significant part of your career, the last few years. You're going to want to go somewhere where at least Champions League is the minimum. Like I said, my guy, I'd love to be wrong. I want Thiago, but it's a bit like the Aura thing. It's like we're kind of reaching with that one. We've got a question. Go on, bro.
Thiago, like, even if he's looking for a final payday, we're not that club. So whatever angle you look at,
that's the point. Yeah, trust me, that's a shout. Now that you said that, it's like, what peas are you gonna get here, really and truly? It's only the London lifestyle. If you want to do up London, and I know he plays for Spain, but Brazilian, with all the Brazilian man in London, then it's cool. But I can't see it. Like, I think, I don't want to say it's making a mistake leaving Bayern Munich, because I don't know his life, I don't know what's going on and stuff. But it's like, it's only the way back down, unless you're going to go back to Barca or something. It's like, where are you going to go? That's going to be a madness. He's been linked with United and Liverpool, you know, get money at United. Liverpool are doing good things, but it's a bit sideways for me still, really.
Yeah, I agree. It's just not, we're not in that bucket, that's for sure.
Facts, man. Danny's asked us about Reiss Nelson. He hasn't been spoken about. You know, he showed good mentality to score a penalty at the weekend. He said Reiss Nelson needs to take the opportunity this season, potentially his last season before he makes it. What do you think? Me personally, I don't think it's his last season in general. Like, when you play for these teams, it's like people think your career is over. He can still have a career. I do share that, you know, when you look at him, Bellerin, potentially Joe, they need to at least show more than they've shown last season. I think Nelson, he looks like his mentality's changed. He's speaking about wanting to play. I think Arteta likes him because he started him against, was it United or Chelsea at the Emirates? He likes him. He played against Liverpool, but he's got to take his opportunity. I think the big problem with Nelson is he's a confidence player. And I think Saka might be a confidence player, but you don't see that with Saka and Martinelli. They look up for it. It's like Nelson needs an arm around him. At some level, you got to say, fuck the arm, I'm going to go and do this. So I think if Nelson doesn't make it here, he's only got himself to blame, because he's been given opportunities. He's been around. You know, him and Joe were the first sort of youngsters go this time last season that were about. Martinelli and Saka weren't about like that. You know, Maitland was always not that. And they've lapped him. So Nelson has to look close to home for me, man. But what are you saying, Turkish?
No, I like Nelson, man. I feel like he does need to improve, definitely. And I feel like it's definitely not his last season to prove himself. I think when you look at it, how many positions am I happy with in the side at Arsenal in terms of starting and backup? I'm going to say goalkeeper is one of them, and I'm going to say right wing is the other. Aside from that, when you look around the side, I can't really see any more complete positions. I think with Pepe starting and Reiss Nelson at 20 years of age, his backup, an Arsenal boy through and through, and someone that's going to improve. I think for me in the next 2-3 years, I'm very happy with that. You know, like the leader also said, it's up to Nelson in the next 2-3 years to show that we don't need Pepe, to show that he can move Pepe on, to show that he can replace him in the starting lineup. And if he does 3 years down the line, that's a right winger at the age of 23. That's Arsenal through and through. We are way too hesitant in this day and age to say, oh, he's got a year to prove himself. He's still only 20 years old. If we're not needing him to do the job as a starter, then give him the time to develop, you know. Obviously, I critique Willock a bit different because Willock actually starts games a lot more. I critique Nketiah a bit different because he starts games a lot more. For me, if you're starting games, it's a lot different to being a backup. And I'm happy with Nelson as backup for now. And I do hope he eventually makes that his own. At 25 years of age, he's our starting right winger.
Turkish took it out of my mouth in relation to Nelson. He said everything. The only thing I'll add is, you know, it's not the end of the world. You know, there's I want him to stay and be part of the team. But if somebody gives him a loan, like if Palace signed easy, so it's not the best example, but let's just say a Palace or someone said, we will take him for a year, or Fulham, we will take him for a year, I'd be open to that. I'd say, Nelson, you know what? Go play, go get your confidence, go and get some experience, go and come back to Arsenal truly believing that you can do this thing. Because I don't think he necessarily believes in his abilities. Even when I see shit players not away from Arsenal, I like their mentality, because you know yourself, you've seen playing football, you've seen players that are good technically, but they're shit because they're pussy-holes. And there's players that are good who are shit. Like, this is England.
Yeah. There's a lot of different attributes you need for football, and not all of it is physical. Some of it is mental, some of it's in your heart. There's a lot more to it than just what you can do with your 2 feet.
Simple as, man. Somebody's asked about Torreira. It's like, I feel like I've personally done Torreira dirty, bro. I don't mention him again. I haven't been speaking about him. I want him to stay, but I've accepted he probably goes. He's not a tactical fit. If we get Partey is not a defensive mid, but he can do what Torreira does. It's cool. If Torreira doesn't, if Partey doesn't come in and we don't bring in that midfield and Torreira leaves, for me, I have a problem, because there's nobody that can put a foot in. You're going to need that. My man's asked, why is Torreira not as effective as when he first joined? And for me, I think it's a bunch of reasons, you know. We tried to make him a 10. He's had injuries. Right now, he just doesn't look like a tactical fit. That's just me. And he looks like Nelson. He's got no confidence.
Yeah, I'd pretty much say the same thing because I'm not quite sure why he doesn't seem to play. He was in his first season, you just got to look at conference. We've just talked about it. It's as much as what you can do with your feet as much as what is up there. And I feel like what's up there with Torreira, it's missing back home a bit. And by back home, I feel like it's Italy. He feels like it's probably his home. I feel like he needs that. He needs to be happy in his life to perform on a football pitch. That's what he seems to be. That sort of a person. And it just hasn't gone. It doesn't seem to have settled in England. I'm not even sure he's grasped the language yet, let alone anything else. So it's a shame, really, but it is what it is at the same time.
Do you think there's anything to learn from that? Because I look at Guendouzi and Torreira. I was happy when we signed them, not because I wanted to be right. They were just two players I made YouTube videos about, and they happened to sign for Arsenal. When I look at Torreira, and like you said, you know, the not settling and all of these other reasons as to why it hasn't worked out, and then Guendouzi's. I think he's a decent player, but he hasn't worked out because of the attitude issues. And apparently he's had them attitude issues at Lorient. Is there potentially lessons to learn through whatever we've done with the process of scouting these players and bringing them in and it ultimately not working out? Can we learn from our mistakes? Is there better analysis we can kind of do? Because the critic will say, Guendouzi done this already. He's now having a thing already. You could have seen, you shouldn't have touched him, sort of thing.
Yeah, now that you know what, it's up and down, man, because sometimes you got to take risks to reap rewards, especially when you're a team like Arsenal who hasn't got the financial pool or the competition pool anymore. You know, sometimes we've got to take those risks, and I won't discredit the club for taking the risks. I feel like on another day, players like Guendouzi and Torreira could have worked out. It's just that, like I keep on mentioning, I don't think many players have had the right platform here to succeed in the past 2 years. So at this stage, it looks like we are doing everything behind the scenes to get the structure right and get it right this time. So whether that means these players go with that, in my honest opinion, it's going to have to be what it's going to have to be. The emotional attachment for me, they're non-existent. So I don't really care who goes from the side, you know.
Specific question for you, man. He said, Turkish, they seem to be on you. He said, Turkish, can I ask, what does Sabas have to do to convince you that he's good enough for Arsenal? I assume in relation to making it permanent. I know you touched on this already, but yeah.
Yeah. It's what does Ceballos have to do to prove that he's good enough for Arsenal? I'm tempted to just ask back, what has he done for you to ask me why he's not good enough for Arsenal? But what I'm going to say is that 30 games, 2 goals, 2 assists, and very little ownership of his position. And by ownership, I mean, we haven't looked at Ceballos as someone that gets us out of trouble in the middle, or someone that's taken that role as his own, or someone that's the first name on the team sheet. You know, he's improved as the season went on, and he improved like a hell of a lot of other players improved in the last 8 games because Arteta started getting it right. You know, other players improved too. Against Liverpool, we beat them 2-1, and Ceballos didn't play. Torreira played. So the player we were just discussing, Torreira played that game. Now, should I say Torreira is good enough for Arsenal Football Club? No, because he hasn't been in the last 2 years. None of them have been. So what do they have to do? Be more consistent and up their game, like raise their own standards, and that's it really. I'm not going to say he needs more goals. He needs more assists, because it's not necessarily all about that. Sometimes it's the bigger picture. I just need to see more consistency overall.
And he took it away. And you made a good point, Turkish, about that, man. About it's not always about goals and assists, because goals and assists can cloud games. Sometimes you can affect the game on a mad thing, but your numbers look a bit dead. So it's important to marry both. So I had to leave that comment there because I want to see that as well as a fan of the show as well. They're onto you about the supporters club and bringing it back.
Too, man. I met with Robbie like last week, just getting a new set sorted and all that. Because obviously we could bring it back, but now there's been a little break. I might as well get a new set sorted. I might as well rebrand a little bit and
do it properly.
But it's coming back 100% this season. They'll be back. Just look out for that real soon.
See, just call off people and wait, man. This wait. Obviously, I'm gonna do 2 more questions, people, Carl. We need to get out of here. This question, because I can't lie, I've seen this guy continuously spam it. Moderators, make sure you're not allowing all of that. Somebody said, Turkish and DG, would you take Samore, or I believe the Leo one, and Thiago? That would be around 50 million. Not too sure it'd be around 50 million, but I would take that for 50. I don't think it would be the case because Thiago's around 30. That's Samore done. I've seen 50 links for him outright. So your calculations might be off, but you could be wrong. But I would take it if that was true.
I will take it, but again, we need to stop dreaming. I see it says day 3 of asking Turkish to become a mod. I'm going to make you a mod today. I'm going live later as well, probably 6 p.m. I'm going to go live. So you'll be mod for that one day. You better be there sorting all them people out in the comments. But yeah, Mari and Thiago, you know what is deluded? I can't discuss transfers that are not going to happen. I just can't do it. Thiago to Arsenal.
It's a massive, innit?
Nah, we ain't doing. Pepe to Arsenal was a surprise last year. Pepe, that's just because he was one of the bright young talents. Yeah. When have we ever signed a 30 player in his prime?
We're only looking at this amazing degree Ozil. Other than that,
Ozil, Arshavin, maybe that's it.
That's it. And these are bare little minor examples out of all the man we've lost.
Champions League them times, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Great point. I even forgot.
I can't do it, man. I can't.
Like, you're like me, man. Like, I let the people watching. I can't, like, when I do my little Q&As, I fucking hate fucking transfer questions, bro. I hate it. People are asking me to name lineups with players that are not part of this team. It doesn't make sense, man. All right, cool, man. Let's start. All right, there's 2 good questions, and I'm going to leave it with this, man. I know I said one more, but one said, how do you handle backlash for comments you make? Does it make you hesitate? And, you know, I'm asking you because there could be aspiring creators and all of these sort of things out there, and you're probably the best man to ask this question because you don't, in a right way, you don't give a fuck. Like
that's literally all I can say, man. Like, my character in general before all of this AFTV and YouTube stuff is someone that doesn't really care too much what unnecessary people think about me or what I'm doing. As long as I know what I'm doing in my heart, yeah, it's good. As long as I know what I'm doing in my heart is for right, and I'm righteous with it, and I don't care about what anyone thinks, you know. So with the backlash and all of that stuff, obviously a prime example is recently, you know, Twitter and everyone's going mad about my Bellerin comments, Ceballos comments. My thing is unnecessary people. I don't care. It's like water off a duck's back. It goes through this ear, it goes out of that ear. It's, for me, unnecessary. If I need someone's opinion, I'll message DG. I'll say, what did you think about that? Or I'll message maybe a Curtis or a Robbie or a Troops, or I'll message different people to find out their opinions on something, because those are the people that in the bigger picture in this world matter to me, not the people who are down my neck about players because of emotional attachments and all that, you know. I'm a big advocate of being happy in life, and a lot of people call me negative and say I'm always upset. But as soon as this laptop goes off, I'm enjoying my life, bro. I
always find it funny, fam. Man, don't actually, they have you so wrong. You're one of the most funny guys, like easygoing guys.
Like, you just got that's how you gotta handle it. You gotta handle it by just brushing it off, man, because you're never gonna stop it. That's for sure. So you just brush it off and have your people that you believe in, have your people that you listen to, and if you ever doubt yourself because of backlash or criticism, go to those people and ask them, because you need the people that are going to give it to you real. A lot of my friends come to me because I tell them how it is. I'm not going to beat around the bush. If what I think is going to upset you, I'm going to tell you, because you need that as a friend. You know, you need someone that's going to give it to you as it is and not going to put an arm around you for no reason. So that's just how I live my life.
That's it, man. And Turkey just took it out of my mouth. It's like, what more can I say on that? For me, it's the same, because obviously, nobody likes to see negative comments or likes to see their name in the mud, of course. But it's like Turkey said, it's water for ducks back. Man might be just saying that because they don't like you. They might secretly love you. They might have an agenda against the platform you're on. So they're just seeing it as, yo, let me get at him. Man are doing things. They might just be insecure and so sad with their life that, the highlight of their day is messing up your thing. So it's like, you have to rub it. I'm a sort of person, I like my comments challenged. By all means, in a footballing sense, get at me, challenge it, because it makes me better. It makes me want to look at things. The minute you start doing it, it goes beyond football and it becomes personal and all of these things. It's all air. On the internet, it's air. Like, me and Turkish come from a background where, you can't, if you're not going to say something to someone's face, then it's air, and you don't say certain things you wouldn't say. So with the internet, you just got to take it in your stride, bro. If you do.
We've grown up in, bruv, I grew up in the 90s in Wood Green.
This is it. This is it.
People can do research about that if they want. Like, why would I be worried about any comments on the internet when the life that I've lived and the life that I've grown up around, has molded me into someone that is strong, you know, and I only wish that everyone is strong and not have to learn it the ways that I had to learn it, or you might have had to learn it because you grew up in Tottenham, I like.
Yeah,
so
man. I'm growing up.
Our experiences make all of this YouTube comment stuff and all that nothing. You know, I love it when they interact with us. I love it, engage. I love ask me questions and debate. I love that. That's what I'm here for. But once it gets to verbal abuse and all that, bro, you would have lost a day in my shoes. So it doesn't matter to me.
And half the time, these people that are saying it on the net, they're coming and asking for pictures or this and that. So it's all air, bro. You don't know who is doing what. So you might as well just allow it. Like, as no one's trying to harm you physically. It's air, man. It's fucking air, bro.
Like, trust me. That's a good question to leave on, because sometimes I like answering questions like that, because I know there's people watching, like you said, Deluded, that might be aspiring creators and they need to know, because a few people do come to me about this all the time. The internet's a bad place, man. The internet's a bad place, but you've just got to keep your head above water and make sure you're looking at what matters and not what doesn't matter. That's
it, fam. And with that, it's been a fantastic show with you, my guy, man. Like I said, we're back on Saturday. A man said, "Why is man going live while I'm at work?" We're sorry, bro. Like, what do you want? Like, what do you just? It's gonna be on YouTube when you finish. You know, you can do your thing and listen to it. It's gonna be there, man. It's gonna.
Don't worry. And Saturday, 12 p.m. in the afternoon, we're back on my channel, me and Deluded again for the second show of the week. And later on today, I'm going to be live at 6 p.m. Deluded, if you're about, just let me know. And
I got footy.
I'm live at 6 p.m. today, huh?
I got footy, boy. But tomorrow or Saturday we'll pattern, man. In fact, we can do 2 shows, man. We can do this, fam. I'm back at work Friday, so I'm good, man. I'm really good. But it's been lovely having you, man. Like, it's been certified, man. Like he said, we're gonna be back on Saturday. He's gonna be streaming today. Can't imagine you don't know what his show is, and you don't know who done his YouTube channel is. But you know, let them know where they can find you if anything, man.
Turkish LDN TV. That's my YouTube. Turkish LDN Instagram. Turkish LDN Twitter. And that's about it, really. I don't really use social media like many others do, but yeah, follow me on there and keep up to date with it, because there's a lot more content coming this season.
That's it. If you want capping and people that are going to say stuff for the sake of saying it, don't watch him. If you want opinions, if you want someone who, whether you agree with his opinion or not, he's talking from the heart, go and subscribe and do the rest of it, man. But until again, we meet again, people, we're out, man. We're out.
Love.